Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amantika, for reminding. Yeah. So let me know if you see the deck. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's basically the main four components. So S is security, O is orchestration, A is automation, and R is response. So let's know more about it. So these would be the contents which would be covering in this deck, and the timer permits we will set up our Python environment today. So yeah, let's go about it. So yeah, first thing, what is SOAR? So the SOAR has these four more components, four main components, and we will talk about them. So first being the automation part. So what SOAR enables us to do, the task which we usually do manually. So in analyst life, the first thing whenever a alert is injected, they have to assign it manually to somebody else, and that person start investigation. So that thing can be automated. Then the initial task after the seeing the first uh, few things about alert, the analyst goes and it finds out about indicators like if there are any IPs or hashes or URLs that I need to maybe go to various threat intel platforms like VirusTotal or URL Void or etc., and get reputation of those things. So we have to do it manually. We have to browse to those websites and get the reputation. But all those things can be done automatically here. What we do in SOAR, we integrate those platforms into SOAR, and then we just go ahead and get their reputation, and that's how we go with things. So let's just see how that can be done in SOAR for starters, and then we would move forward. So just a second, guys. Let me log into SOAR and come back to you.
What does term orchestration mean?
Yeah, we will touch that point as well. So first we are going from the automation part, and we will touch to every part of it. Yeah, it will follow.
Can we get some documents and notes to study as well?
Yeah, definitely. So after every session, I would be sharing the documents with you, which I'm presenting, and also it will have all the study material and necessary steps we have.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I saw one hand up. Do you have any question? Anyone have any question? Okay, maybe
Uh,
moving on. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Little bit before starting, how you going to take the classes like curriculum? Can you
Yeah,
little bit touch up next 2 minutes only?
yeah. So definitely. So first thing in initial class, we will talk about SOAR as a technology, that what the technology is about. So in this, I would be presenting a deck which will have pointers, and after I would be showing some little bit demos on tool. So you guys can visualize what I'm talking about. That is going to be the first thing. Then following that, we will have architecture point of view, the back end of SOAR and how SOAR is actually implemented and what all modules it offers. So like maybe its head, its legs, its hands, all those things we will talk about. After following to that, we are going to go about Python. So we will know all the basic things about Python that all we would require to form a basic codes. So for that, I would be presenting a deck, and also I would be sharing an interface like this, which is an online interface. And here I would be coding and talking about how the code actually works and how the syntax would be. And a similar environment you guys would be setting up, and I would be giving you a small uh, tasks in between which you have to perform in live demos as well as at home, and you have to come up with the answers or practice yourself. So that's going to happen. And after that, SOAR has multiple modules. So just a second. So if you see, so in SOAR we have dashboard and reports, and then we have incidents, and we have threat intel part, playbooks, automation jobs. So we will know about everything. So I would be presenting my screen and exploring all those options and what resides in that. And then once we are very familiar with all the components of SOAR, then we would be moving to use cases, and then we would be creating a workflows like a total complete investigation, how it will look like from a manual perspective, and then how it would look like in automation. And there we will see the true power of SOAR, like how SOAR unfolds and how it saves your time and those things. So this is how we are gonna go with this.
Thank you. Yeah,
We good?
continue, please. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Any other questions? I think we are good. So yeah. So guys, this is our tool. I have logged into SOAR. This is our Cortex XOR by PaloAlto. And here we, as I was talking about that in our manual task, we have to go to the different uh, security tools and we have to get reputation for it. So what we can do in SOAR, we can just directly integrate those platforms with us, and we can directly get a reputation from here by using API calls, and we do not need to visit all those consoles. So for an example, we have here, let me check virus total. Yeah. So let me find if I have any hash. Just a second, I might have it on my desktop. And we are going to check its repetition. Okay. Just a second, guys. I will find one hash for you. And yeah. Yeah. So we are back at our console, and so we will first visit virus total and see how things we would do manually, and then we will do it same thing from XOR to give us better understanding that how SOAR would actually work in between. So we have now visited, and I have got one hash which I would be searching here. So I have pasted this hash, and we are going to search for its reputation. So all of you guys who do not know Virus Total is a site which tells us about the reputation of a hash and more things. So we have got hash for Chrome, so it should be clean told by all. So if we see here, out of 75 vendors, none of have told that it is malicious, and all have stated it as undetected. So what we are going to do, we are take the same hash, and without visiting virus total, we are going to achieve these things using XOR. So now I'm back in XOR. So in XOR, I have already integrated virus total. So in virus total, I have created one account and got an API key, and which I have saved. All these things we are gonna go in details, but we are just going to see one demo of it. So command to get reputation is file. So we are going to type here file. All these things we are going to get into details in following sessions. So even if you do not understand what is happening currently, just see that how things will happen from XOR perspective rather than doing it manual. So file is the command to get the hash from virus total. And then in file section, I have to give the file hash. So if you see, it is the same 941. And here also, it was the same 941. And now I'm just gonna run this. And then in the background, it will go to virus total. It will check its reputation and it will share those results with us from
So
SOAR
in order
without
to
visiting.
run it, did you press any cursor or just an enter over
Just
the
an enter.
console? Okay.
Just an enter. So if you see, it has got the reputation from various vendors. So we are more interested in virus total here. So URL house, alien volt, no. Yeah. So if you see, this result is been returned by virus total. If you see, virus total is mentioned here, and it talks about same thing. So it says that if this is chrome.exe, what is the its extension, its dates, relevant dates, and also the same reputation which has been shared by VirusTotal. And also to compare few things. So in VirusTotal, we can also see in details the MD5 and SHA-1 values of it. So if you see it is 115, same told by VirusTotal, and similar thing we can see from here. And same goes for SHA-1 and other details as well. So basically, we just wanted to share here that the things which we have to do manually by doing the uh, in an analyst steps, we have to check reputation manually. All those things we can do automated from SOAR by integrated all those things. So that all things happen in automation. We just integrate bunch of security solutions or threat intel platforms from where we have to communicate, and we directly fetch data from there. So that happens in automation. And the next part is orchestration. So to give you an example of orchestration, have you seen the uh, in the movies or something, there would be a music concert and there would be one guy who would be waving his sticks in air and he would be orchestrating the whole band. Music concert. Yeah, meanwhile, someone has question.
Yes, Rama. So now you have given one has file, right? So
Mhm.
now that is if it is malicious, how it
Mhm.
will happen? What will happen next?
Okay, so let me just take one hash which might be a malicious one. This may be. Let me check its reputation. So see, in VirusTotal, only one person has detected it as malicious, and other people detected it as undetected or something. So from here, when the score, so it depends on us that some companies will decide that if five vendors decide that this thing is malicious, if five people mark it as in red or kind of they do not believe it, they think it is malicious, then we can conclude it is malicious. Or if the score is less than 5, so maybe only 3 out of 74 detect it as malicious, then we can decide it is malicious, or else we can say it is not malicious. So this answered this question, or you wanted to ask like how it will look on SOAR?
Yeah, how it will look on show. Like if it is malicious, how SOAR will work? What
Yeah.
will do
So
next?
SOAR will give you reputation itself. So currently we are exploring the part where we are just fetching the data from VirusTotal. We are not actually implementing on that data. So as this was given as 0 out of 75, in this case, SOAR will give us 1 out of 75. So I'm just running this command using VirusTotal only, and it will give us 1/79. Yeah, you see.
Okay.
So this is how it will give us the reputation, and then we will develop our automation on this, that how we, based on this result, how we move ahead in life. So that we are going to cover in our next session. So basically, we are just showcasing here how XOR works in backend. You do not need to visit the sites alone, and that can happen automatically for you from this platform itself. Okay. So orchestration part is, so if you see this guy, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy is waving his sticks, and let's consider this guy SOAR, and all these are security solutions and all those things. So this guy has the job to tell all these people that how they should behave, and basically he has to orchestrate everyone, and then they would be having a symphony between them, and they would be working in a workflow. So that is the job of SOAR. So let's talk more about that part. So what happens in orchestration? The in SOAR, we have to integrate multiple security solutions. So with SOAR, you will integrate some EDRs and maybe your endpoint solutions like XDR, and then you will have your perimeter security devices like firewalls and proxy and everything. So all those things would be sending alerts or details to SOAR, and SOAR has to make sense about those things and uh, create a workflow on it, that how things will happen. So for an example, let's take an example. You have integrated a SIM device and you have integrated a bunch of threat-related platforms. And then after that, you have integrated some perimeter devices where you have to take an action. So what SOAR will do? First, it will ingest an offense from, let's take an example, USM, let's take an example of maybe QRadar. So from QRadar, offense is generated. QRadar would be integrated with SOAR. It will pull that offense from there. Then after in next step, SOAR will extract indicators from it. So whatever the IOC it finds interesting. So it could be IPs, URLs, or other data. It will extract those. And then it will talk to threat intel platforms in its next phase. So it will go to threat intel platforms. It will get its reputation or maybe get more details about it. And after that, based on those details, like whatever the verdict and all those things provided by the threat intel platform, it will create its own analysis. It will present to maybe analyst in some cases, or maybe take an automated decision. And then it would maybe decide to block those IOCs into perimeter devices. So let's take an example. We have some firewall and we have identified a malicious IP from integration from that offense which come from SIM. So in the next phase, what SOAR will do, SOAR will go to that firewall and it will block it. So in this case, SOAR is doing all the communication with these devices. It first talked to SIM, then later it talked to the threat intel platforms. And in the last phase, it talked to the security solution or the perimeter device where we have to take an action. So this is how SOAR orchestrates between all the tools. And remind you that SOAR is not only ingesting offenses from SIM. There would be a EDR or XDR which would be integrated with SOAR, and from there the offenses would be coming. So SOAR has to cater to those offenses as well. So SOAR will also
Excuse me, bro.
Yeah.
Actually, offenses will be coming from the event collector, right?
No. So how it will go? Event collector would be sharing logs to QRadar or SIM console. Then in SIM, there would be rules created. And based
Yes.
on that rules, offense would be triggered and the SOAR would be pulling only that offense. It is not pulling all the logs. It is only
Okay,
pulling the
okay, got it.
offenses. Yeah. So this is how the orchestration part works. SOAR has integration with multiple security solutions. If you see the screen, we have a lot of just a second. So if you see, there are multiple categories here. So like it will talk to threat intel feeds, it will talk to SIMs, it will talk to authentication platforms like Active Directory and all. Then it will talk to the endpoints, it will talk to the email boxes and all. So all those devices we will have, and they would be sharing the data simultaneously. But SOAR will orchestrate on all that data, and it will pick up the what all things it will have a workflow, and based on that, it will work on all those things. So that part talks about orchestration, that how SOAR talks with multiple devices at once, and it decides then what command to be sent to that particular device. So yeah, that's about the orchestration part. We good? We understanding this part? So
Yes.
yeah, so once we get more into details, we will know about this. So yeah, guys, we good? Give some thumbs up. Shall we move ahead? Okay, one. Guys, you're following, right? You understood what the orchestration part will do?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then the next part is response. So whenever our investigation is complete, we have to respond to it. So there are two ways of responding it. So let's take an example that we have a true positive case where we have observed some infection and we have to take some action on it to like remove that infection from the environment. So let's follow our previous example itself. So we had a malicious IP communication observed. We investigated that. We had the reputation that the communication was found to be malicious, and now we have to move ahead and we have to block that IP. So that part will come into response. So what will happen? We would be having integrated perimeter devices like firewalls, and we would be sending a API call to them that we have observed this malicious IP and we need to block it, and then firewall would be blocking. Then another response could be we have to raise a security ticket. So let's take an example. We were talking about multi-tenant platform. So you are running cybersecurity services for some of the organizations. They do not allow you to directly take their firewall access, and they just ask you to raise a maybe a ticket in their tool, and then their firewall team will take care of that. So in response of in that specific use case, what you will do, you will have their ITSM tool integrated. So it might be a Symphony Summit or Jira or maybe all the others security ticketing tools, and you will just go ahead and raise a ticket in them, and then those people would take a ticket and work on it. So that's how you respond. Then in another scenario where you have maybe ransomware kind of activity observed on one of your endpoints, and you want it not to spread, you want to remove that system from connection. So that also thing you can maybe do in response. You can network isolate the system. So what that will do, it will run an API call on that specific endpoint, and it will remove the internet connectivity from that machine, so that malicious actor who was acting from remotely and taking control of that machine and doing malicious activity, that would be killed. Also, it would stop you from spreading that attack into your network, like lateral movement. Like if your one machine is infected and all other machines which are sitting in the same network, those also might get infected. So you have to stop that alert, you have to stop the lateral movement, and you have to kill it. So that all also will go into response. And there would be some other response. So for an example, you have received an alert, but it is a false positive. So let's take an example of the earlier instance where you get an offense that malicious IP communication is observed. But while you investigate and you get to know that this IP actually belongs to internet service provider, and it is very much necessary for your folks to work from home. So what you will go ahead and you will draft a mail from XOR itself, and you will tell your maybe same team which have triggered the alert that this IP is a genuine IP, and our users are connecting to this IP. It's their internet IP, so do not trigger an offense from it. So a mail would be sent to that team, and those people will respond to that mail and they will whitelist it. Or if you have directly integrated that same solution, then you can directly maybe make an exception for that specific IP. So all those responses can be done from SOAR without directly going into it. So that all part is covered into response section. We good, guys? We understood what SOAR can do, how it will respond to different scenarios. Okay, do we have any questions till now? Lakshmi Narayan, I think we have your hand raised. Do you have any question?
No,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, Lakshmi, you can go ahead. I'll wait.
No, I don't have any question.
So the thing is, this
Mhm.
SOAR will not confirm with SOC analyst if they have to end the connection or not. It will just do it by himself with the help of threat intelligence tools by verifying it.
Okay, so thanks for the question. I think this is a great question. So there would be two scenarios where immediately you will have some static and technique where you immediately want to remove the connection. You do not maybe think about it. So for an example, there is a disk encryption kind of thing happening, and that kind of offense is triggered, then you can pre-decide into SOAR that whenever these kind of static and technique is observed, I do not want to use any brain or go to any threat intel platform to confirm this activity. Just go ahead and isolate that machine. So that would be the one scenario where SOAR would be directly taking an action. It will not involve any analyst and directly go ahead and isolate it. But in another scenario where you are investigating, and while investigating and reaching out to threat intel platforms, then you learn that there are actually few files which happens to be malicious and they are communicating. Then as an analyst, you can click a button on SOAR, and that button will go and isolate that machine after the investigation happened or the enrichment happened, for to say. So these would be the two scenarios. In few cases, you would directly want SOAR to take an action and isolate that machine. And in second scenario, you would wish to wait for an analyst to maybe decide and take an action. Both things you can achieve.
So the severity is decided while automating the processes, like the automating the responses.
Yeah. So this
Based
is
on
the
the
main thing.
yeah. So based on the severity, we have to decide if human intervention is necessary or not. If it is very severe, then SOAR itself will end the process or act on himself. And if it is not that severe, then human intervention may be necessary to confirm if it is malicious or not.
Yeah. I think you understood it perfectly. So wherever we know that this is definitely the high thing, critical thing, then we will immediately will not waste any time and take direct action automatically. And in another scenario where we think that a time could be taken and maybe this could be a false positive, there you can maybe take analyst take a call. Yeah, that's the exact thing.
So based on behavior and baseline, the
Mhm.
response will be taken.
Yes, and this is our job. So you guys are going to be SOAR engineer in few days. So it would be your job to maybe decide the flow, how things should happen. So this all things would be developed by engineer like me, that if this happens, then do this. If that happens, then do that. So these things only we are going to learn in coming days, that how to follow these processes.
So we'll be learning how to make the playbooks as well and how to do the analyst type of investigation.
Definitely, we are going to cover. That is the main thing, guys. You would be, after this course is completed, you would be able to develop content on SOAR.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have one question. So, like this deployment, the structure which you are showing. So, does it has a MITRE mapping also into the SOAR?
Yes. So, very good question. So we can integrate MITRE. So I'll just show you if so can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Yeah, so we have MITRE integration as well, where we can leverage. So we have a bunch of commands. So get attack pattern. So if we provide it, sorry, this is not the right command. Yeah. So in our alert, if we have the IDs of the pattern ID, from there it can get more details about MITRE, like how the things are actually happening. So maybe your SIM does not have capability of doing that, but it can just get us a few process IDs or something. We can provide it to this integration and it can get us the MITRE details of that thing.
Got it. So as we will moving forward, you will be explaining the architecture like on a word that will be a great understanding.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, guys, definitely we are going to cover that. We will talk about architecture and we are definitely going to develop some playbooks here. Like IP blocking and everything we will do. Definitely, that's going to happen in coming class. Today we are just knowing SOAR as a technology in a bunch, and slowly we move on how it actually works and how we can develop content on it. And also, you think if it can take data from MITRE, so definitely it can take data from MITRE. Also, our EDR tools, like let's take an example, or CrowdStrike and Cortex XOR, Cortex XDR, they have capability, they have already done MITRE mapping in them. So when we are pulling offenses from it, we will also have the tactic and technique pulled, which they have mapped in their MITRE.
Yeah, the reason I asked this question because see, if moving forward after this training, if we get the opportunity, so when like any company or as from the engineering team, you implemented certain things. So you have to have a weekly report to show to the management what value added out to the customer. So if I enhancing SOAR capabilities, so if customer is investing so much, so what enhancement or what value added XSOAR is giving them from the terms of incident response or from the analysis or the workbook. So that was what, like, I was my next question moving forward, but I'm just giving the heads up, like, because everyone who is investing, they need some return of investment on this tool, right? So in that case, how this XOR helps?
So yeah, so we are going to cover those things into the next couple of slides, that how it adds the value. But just to answer your question quickly, just develop this dashboard and present it to them, and it has all the clocks. So first, before implementing SOAR, you will capture their SLAs, like how much time they take to take a particular action, and then you will implement SOAR and you will present this dashboard to them, that before this you were taking 20 minutes to do some action. I have done it using SOAR in 2 seconds. So this is my value add to you in terms of the time of amount of time you saved to take a response, because in cybersecurity, time is everything. The more time you lose, the more time you give to attacker to spread its attack. So time is the most critical thing. So that's how you can tell. And then second thing, the analyst efforts. A less number of analysts would be able to handle the more number of. So yeah, we will talk
It's
about
more
that.
about SLA capturing. That is what customer needs.
Yeah. So this is SLA dashboard only.
Got
That's
it.
why,
Thank you.
I work with customers closely, so I understand they are interested in SLA itself. So yeah,
Great.
we
Thank
have
you.
that here.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay.
So this EDR, XDR doesn't have this SLS, right?
So majorly EDR and XDR tools, they are used to secure your endpoint. They are not very incident response kind of tool.
Yeah.
XOR is tool which helps in incident response when the infection is happened, and now we have to work on it, investigate it, and take a mitigation. So those technologies totally different. XDR will protect our endpoint, and SOAR will help us the investigation point of view.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Any more question, guys? We good, we good. Shall we move ahead?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, like in SIM QRadar, we have like extension management packs where we can, like integrate the Maitri attack framework, and it will any custom rules will come with it. So in this SOAR, we don't have anything like that.
So SOAR is not an attack generating platform. SOAR does not consume raw logs and map it on some behavior. SOAR is here to respond to your alerts, your pre-made alerts. So SOAR will only consume the already created detections from your side, maybe from any devices. SOAR is not consuming logs and maybe applying a mapping to it. But if you were saying that if it will give us you out of the box incident response things, was that your question?
No, like I was asking like how to integrate the Maitri attack in the SOAR. Like we directly it will take it from the like the SIM console, or we have to do something in the SOAR platform.
Yeah, definitely. So there would be two scenarios where you have already mapped your MITRE there properly, and it is putting MITRE fields into proper fields and sharing to SOAR. Then we do not need to leverage this. We would directly have the static and technique presented to us. But if you can only manage to send the pattern IDs, then we can leverage the MITRE integration and talk to MITRE that we have this pattern ID. So based on that, give me static and technique and its details. So we can leverage this thing in that case.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think this is going to be a great batch. You guys all seems to be knowing your stuff and asking all the relevant questions. Great. And guys, some of you might not be understanding all the context of what all things we are discussing about, because you might not have worked on those specific tools. So worry not. We are mainly here to focus on XOR part of it. And as days move forward and we talk about more and more things, you will get that context. So don't feel any bad.
Wanted to
And
ask about few KPIs of a SOAR solution. What are the important KPIs as per you of an SOAR?
so I think in our deck, those things would be described pretty much well.
Okay.
And yeah, so if that does not satisfy you, then we will take this question maybe in the end,
Okay, no
if that's
worries.
okay. Yeah.
That's
Thank
fine.
you so much.
Yeah. One more last question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So the SOAR will be taking the logs from SIM, not from the other tools, security tools, like the logs from SIM EDR.
So again, I'm suggesting that SOAR is not taking logs, it is taking detections. It
Yeah,
is taking
detections.
offenses.
Mhm.
So I'll give you more context on it. So let's take an example. You have got an offense in your SIM and it has pulled that offense. Then for investigation purpose, you have to see the bunch of logs, like from this duration, what the user's machine was doing. I need to see some logs from SIM. Then from SOAR, you can pull the specific logs of that time frame, and with the fields you decide. Then only SOAR will pull some logs for you, but SOAR will not capture the logs always. It will get you logs for enrichment purpose only. It is not consuming logs. That
Mhm.
tool is SIM or that tool is XIM.
If in case the SIM is misconfigured, if the alert is not generated in SIM, SOAR will not detect it, right?
Exactly. SOAR is dependent on SIM to make a rules and detect an offense.
So,
SOAR is not going to detect offense.
so SOAR doesn't have SIM capabilities like storing the log.
Yes, correct. SOAR does not store your logs.
But then how different is this from Sentinel? Because Azure Sentinel stores the logs and it also has SOAR capabilities, right?
Yeah, so for that we have another product called as XIM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So one extension of one further question, just as an extension, add on to the previous question. When in a SOAR, based upon the rule, we define playbook, right? Or if the integration happens between a SIM or a SOAR, does SOAR pulls on the logic of the rules or the use cases from the SIM, or just the name will be there, and against those names of the use cases, we will have to define a playbook and it will work on the playbooks itself. It will just see a match of the use case name, or when the integration happens via the APIs, does it pulls the use cases list and the associated conditions as well for a better understanding, or how does it work?
No. So SOAR will pull only the use incident details. So that will involve all the other data like source IP, destination IP, etc. And it will involve use case name also. And in our SOAR, we will decide which playbook to be run based on use case name or maximum use case type. So for an example, for brute force, you have created 5 use cases. So you can put all those 5 in one brute force umbrella, and you can tell SOAR that any of these 5 use case name appears into your system, then run a brute force playbook on it.
Okay, so
We are not considering rules.
so every tool will have their own intellectual property. They will not share the rules condition, the names, and the umbrella of responses created as a part of playbook. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, guys. Any more questions? Shall we move forward? Okay, I think we are good. So we have got to know about automation, orchestration, response, and the last part would be security. So yeah, these all things combined would be helping us making our organization more secure. So it has capability to maybe isolate a machine or block on malicious indicators or take an offense and take a response on it. So all those use cases were related to security. So yeah, that's the key component of SOAR. That's what happens. And then I'm moving forward to the next text. That is, what is SOAR? So in SOAR, it is not only limited to these things, but in SOAR we can also do the threat and vulnerability management. So I am sharing my screen again, and we are moving to the threat intel part of it. So there are two things to incident response. One is like getting offenses, and so as a life of a SOC, you have to manage two things. One thing is monitor all your detecting sources and do the investigation. And second part is you have to work on the threat hunting part, or you have to get the indicators blocked in your environment. Those two jobs mainly SOC involves. So the first part we have talked about, and now we are moving to second part, which happens to be threat intel. So SOAR provides you a holistic approach where you can ingest your indicators from various sources. So that could be in form of maybe taxi feed, or you can just receive an email from someone and you can like fetch indicators from it, and all the indicators would be stored in your XOR. So if we see here in the lifetime, we have stored 63,225 indicators. So all those indicators would be here, and we can get more details about them. So from here also you can do the threat hunting part and all those things, maybe know more about your indicator. And this can work as your threat intel platform as well. It has all the capability of threat intel. So it can consume IOCs, it can enrich them, it can push it to your various security tools, or maybe in your SIM for rule creation. Then it has capability to create reports based on that, which covers in threat intel reports. We will touch on that. And then it has capability to do threat hunting as well. So as we have discussed, we will be integrating our security solutions like maybe SIM and EDR and XDR, which will have host data. So from here, we can run queries on that system. So for an example, I have to check a indicator presence in last 7 days if I have seen that in our environment. So we can just go to SIM with the indicator value, which we have received from here, and we can make a query to specific log sources if we have that offense data. So all that's capabilities here and also more. So let's explore one. So I am clicking on this hash now. And if you see, we get all the details about that thing, that what its reputation. So it is set as benign, then its status is active, then the enrichment part of it, that when it was enriched, then today is 7 September. So yeah, then all the its relationship, that or to what all IP or domains it does the communication with, and its timeline, that when it was observed in our device first. So all those things. Then it's hashes, different hashes. So like it's MD5, it's SHA-1, etc., etc. Then different tags. So these tags help you to know if it's your industry related and all those things and more. And then when we click on this enrich indicator button, what all threat intel platforms you have integrated, it will go to those and get its recent reputation. So that also happens here. Then in additional details, we do not have much data. And if you have purchased a module of Unit 42, then we get a lot more details about it. So this tool
What
can
is
work on.
exactly Unit 42?
Okay,
What is
so
different about Unit 42?
yes. So Unit 42 is a product from PaloAlto Networks,
Okay.
and it has their inventory where it has details about all the indicators. And when you purchase a license for it, you get a key and you can integrate it, and you get to get all their data
So just like
basically.
IBM X-Force, it is just the dedicated threat intel. Well, it's just a competitor to any IBM X-Force or any other threat intel, or is it something different or something
No.
good about
It
different?
it is more or less similar thing.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
it
I thought
is it
I
is
made something.
yeah. No. It is their like research product where they do threat hunting and all those things, and they find for 0 days and all those things they feed into your SOAR, and from here you can push it to all your security solutions to
So
get it blocked.
in SOAR, is threat hunting part of you have to do threat hunting as a in the same console, or there is a different dedicated module or console for hunting?
No. You can do it from this console
Okay.
itself.
Okay.
Yeah, SOAR has like God level capability. We will know about that. So yeah, threat and vulnerability management we can do from SOAR. And then incident response, we have talked about this in a brief already. And then the security operations automation. So whatever the workflow we have from like putting an offense to someone's name, like assigning it to the next part where we extract indicators and do the enrichment and take a call, see more logs, and then we decide. And based on that, we maybe raise a ticket or talk to a user over email. So all those things we can develop a playbook for it, and all those things can happen automatically from SOAR. So that path also is covered in SOAR. So SOAR has capability to cater all your SOC requirements, but it has dependency on other tools to take the necessary action. So SOAR has dependency on your SIM tool to to capture a logs and detect an offense. And based on that, SOAR can take an action on that offense. And similarly, it has dependency on your EDR or XDR tool to network isolate. Your XDR should have that capability, and SOAR will make an automated command to it, and then that XDR or EDR will contain it. And similarly, on firewalls and all, if we have to take action, SOAR will make an API call, and that tool will take an action. So to summarize it, SOAR is a brain, and all the security solution are its body parts. So SOAR takes data from it, it processes it, and it makes a command that do this, do that to all the security solutions. So that is about SOAR. That's what SOAR is.
So the body part has to function properly, send a signal to the brain. Otherwise, it's a problem.
Yes, definitely. So if the communication is not happening properly, we will get a error here. In our console, we should have some error. So see, if here we see how the things are working, it shows us the communication part. So here we are seeing that it talked to this tool at this time, at this time, at this time, and it pulled the indicator, so it is working fine. So from here we can keep an eye on it, and there would be some things. So let's see the autofocus, it is not working properly, it is not communicating. So we will get this kind of an alarm that it has some problem, please fix it. The communication is not quite right. So this is how from SOAR we know.
Yeah, so your main SIM, the content, the rule has to be very proper. Then only like your this orchestration and automation response will work effectively in SOAR, right?
Yeah. So SOAR is not SOC itself. SOAR is one component of it. It is mainly designed to reduce your response time and cost cutting. So it majorly helps your SOC team to get things automatically done, but it has dependencies on the other threat platforms to trigger an alert or something, because SOAR is not consuming logs. It is just acting on logs. So yeah.
And what about threat intelligence? How does it work? Like for an example, if one IP 123 is block listed, like I mean listed as malicious on VirusTotal, does SOAR automatically blocks that IP in the system, or does it wait for an communication to be made for connection?
Yeah, so again, for this thing to happen, you have to develop a playbook. So let's take an example. You have one firewall where you need to block, and you have integrated that firewall and VirusTotal with SOAR. So what will happen? Wherever new feed is coming, so from VirusTotal, there are a bunch of IPs getting consumed. That VirusTotal is saying they are bad, we need to block it. Then you will develop a playbook, and what that playbook will do, it will take all the data from this threat intel page where the source is VirusTotal and their verdict is malicious, and it will hold that data and it will make API calls to your firewalls to asking it to block it. So that's how it will go. It will integrate with VirusTotal, it will fetch data, process it, share with your firewall to block.
Then like VirusTotal has a very huge data, huge amount of data. So if we are keeping like if continuously blocking those IPs, then there could be a very much load on firewall.
Yeah, definitely. So to cater that, you do not wish to block everything that is surfaced on your internet. So as I showed you, we have here three threat intel platforms, Alien Vault, URL Host, Virus Total. So you cannot go ahead and block everything these guys are saying. So you have to purchase one threat intel solution which you trust that it will send you only genuine IOCs which actually needs to be blocking. And these all other bunch of things you can put it into your watch list, like keep it in your SIM reference set. And if alert is detected on this hash, then do a deep investigation and then decide on blocking or not. And for the security threat intel platform which you have purchased for, and it is giving you curated indicators related to your business, which are definitely malicious and needs to be blocked, that only you block. Other things you just keep it into watch list.
So basically, if it is related to the business and related to the geographical area, then only we'll
Yeah.
block.
Yeah, you should make an educated decision and just not go ahead and block everything.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, guys. So that was about threat intel part. Do we have more questions about around this topic? I know it's the first day, and these things might not make sense for some of you guys, but when we actually explore console and build on one thing and another, then everything falls into picture and everything started making sense. So yeah, these are some more capabilities of SOAR, which we are talking about next. So first is endpoint detection response. So as we have talked about it earlier multiple times, that it can talk to EDR and XDR and take direct action. So XOR has capability to run and do all the things which you can do from an EDR perspective. So if you have integrated a EDR with it, so all the capabilities that EDR has that you get hold of. So for an example, in EDR, you can take live terminal to someone's machine and maybe retrieve some file from it or delete some file from it. All those things you can do it from SOAR. What will happen? Your SOAR will make an API call to your management console, which may be CrowdStrike or XDR or anything. And those console will make an call to that endpoint and do that action for you. So whenever we integrate any endpoint to XDR and XDR is integrated with SOAR, then SOAR has the capability to communicate to that endpoints directly. We can directly take an action from SOAR. And we have already discussed how we can directly isolate endpoints and all. So all those capabilities we have. Then all the SOC operations things. So what all things we do manually. So for an example, in SOC arena, we tend to send a lot of emails to users. So we gather data from different security solutions and websites, and then we draft a mail and we ask user about its opinion, like if he's aware about this activity, this thing had happened, everything, or we talk to some other teams to get more data. So SOAR has capability to integrated mail servers with us, and we can directly send an automated email from SOAR. So you do not need to visit maybe your Gmail or Microsoft tools. You can configure a mailbox in SOAR itself, and SOAR will send mail for you and receive a mails for you. You do not need to go to mailboxes as well. So it reduces your dependency out there. Then playbook management, we are going to talk into detail about this, that how we are going to develop a playbooks and all. So I'll just explain to you guys what a playbook is. Playbook is kind of a flow chart of steps that we need to follow, like do this, do that, then do that, then do that. So I'll just try to see one next. So we have one malicious IP investigation playbook. So first step would be whenever we receive an offense, we need to see the more logs of it. So what we do here, we go to that console and fetch for more logs. So that task we do manually, we check logs. So that will happen here automatically. In the background, there would be a same tool integrated here, and it will go ahead and fetch logs from it. And so this whole thing which we are showing, it is a playbook. and this is a playbook task. So playbook is nothing but a flow chart, and it is converted all our manual steps into small bunch of codes or automations. And by adding those automations into a flow, a playbook is created, which have all the other investigation steps. So I'll just explain this very quickly. So get a payload, then get username, because we have to maybe send that mail to user to investigate about it. Then extract indicator. So look to all the raw data and check for all the IOCs from it. Then maybe enrich it, go to various red intel platforms, check its reputation, then create a HTML body for mail. So we have to send a mail to user, and all these mailboxes work on HTML. So in the background, it will create a HTML code that will present a mail to user. And then in this step, it will show to analyst that these all my observations were. This was the raw logs. From that, I have extracted these indicators. This is their reputation, and I have drafted this mail. So based on this, analyst will take an action if this is a true positive or false positive based on his understanding. If the alert is false positive, then it will go to this path, and it will send mail to the SIM administrator maybe that this triggered offense was found to be false positive. So suppress this alert and reduce the false positives, whitelist this alert. So a mail would short to that. And if it is found to be true positive, then a mail would be sent to user if he is aware about this activity and etc. etc. And then in the response task, it will again communicate with analyst if he want to block those IPs. And if analyst says, yeah, I would wish to block those IPs, then it would go to FortiGate is a firewall. So it will go to firewall and block those IPs. So this entire investigation process, it's created here and it is called as a playbook.
So just a moment, few double click questions for you.
Mhm.
Now, first, if you scroll down, there comes to a point where she shows show to analyst. Now, at this point, to the best of my understanding, SOAR will give all the details. It has figured it out using threat intel platforms and investigation, going through the header of the email, and will show it to analyst, and analyst will tell whether it's correct or wrong. So is this step can be skipped? Like, is within SOAR, can we ask SOAR that once this is done and you take a call that it is correct or wrong, and take the next step, or that dependency on the human analyst is there? We cannot
No. So
skip that
it
part.
totally depends on you that how much how you want to build it. So from here,
Okay.
here show analyst step, you can just like
Skip it.
remove it from here.
Okay.
And true or false positive, here we have given it a condition that ask from user. Here you can give condition that if the reputation is more than 5 of that IP, then go into true positive. If the reputation is less, go into false positive.
Great. So that answers my question. Second part, that it drops an email to user. That will go via the SOAR. Now, has the SOAR capacity to read back the response from the user, or that human analyst will have to do and tell what is the response? Or it will go, the email will go from the SOAR, and if the user replies, the SOAR will be able to understand the response and take an automated action, or human intervention is needed there, as per your experience?
Yeah, we can do both the parts. So the thing which you talked about, that if SOAR would understand everything, that part also we can cater. SOAR has the capability to understand and check on the response, but for that you need a like very proper engineer to develop that flow, because user can type bunch of things in response, and your code needs to understand. So let's take an example. If you are giving him two options only, yes, no, that is pretty simple part. But if your user is communicating in 10 lines, then your code might not be able to understand it. This is not machine
Absolutely.
learning.
That is what I was suspecting. That's why that was the intention to ask this question, because users can give any reply in any form, and their lack of ability to understand the context of the question and answer it can now put a challenge. So that I was just trying to understand. Thank you. Thanks for answer.
Yeah. So depends on how mature your engineer is. If your engineer can like work with the whatever the user is saying, and based on that he can come to a response, well and good. Else you can just mention in your mail that this is an automated email, do not reply to this mailbox and reply to this mailbox instead, which is in CC or something. That
Mhm.
also you can do. Or
So
maybe
when you
mhm,
so one particular exact word which you said depends upon how mature your engineer is. Now you are using the word engineer for the engineer who's going to read back the email, or you're talking in context that the way the script will be developed in the backend, that particular engineer who develops the script. So when you say word engineer, how mature engineer is, what exactly are you trying to point out? What role are you trying to point out? What
yeah.
will the engineer be doing here?
So we talk about so whenever I will be talking from now on, I would be categorizing SOC people who are into incident response as
Okay.
analysts,
Okay.
and the people who are managing tools, those would be engineers. So if you are working on SIM and creating rules, and so if you
Okay.
are
So engineering part.
admin of a tool, that is engineer, and
Got your point.
analyst part is analysis.
So when in this scenario, when you said engineer, how smart your engineer is, so it's about the creating the flow chart, or this flow chart in backend has to be developed by a Python script.
Correct. Correct. So if you have any like God level person who can take any response and maybe extract the meaning out of it, then you can automate that process also of reading back mails.
Okay.
But if you have like someone with which can only cater the response yes no, then
Okay.
you have to have that functionality only. Or
I
in
think.
another case, incident response would be taken care by analyst from now on. So
Okay.
what
So.
analyst will do, analyst would be in CC in
Uh-huh.
all those investigation mails. So analyst would be waiting for response from user. And once the response is received from user, then your analyst can decide from here on this step if
Thank
you
you.
want to block.
Got your point. God level thing answered my point. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Because the users mostly don't understand the context of alert, and they can
Absolutely, and
reply
not
with
it's
yeah.
not possible for the machine to also learn and understand everything. There's a limitation to what machines can understand and how much
Correct, correct.
context they can understand. Thank you.
But in some cases where you just need a yes or no. So for an example, you are talking to a firewall team and you are sending them that I have received this bunch of mails and I need your approval to block them. So just say yes or no. In that case, though that team understand that this is SOAR and this is asking me for some particular thing. So in that case, you can implement this use case where just response would be yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But for the users, it's a bit tricky because we all work with those people and they tend to have they have a lot of doubts while responding. Yeah. So yeah, we good. Shall we move ahead?
Hello?
Yeah.
I think
Hello?
someone wanted to. Yeah. Please go ahead.
I have one small doubt. What
Yes,
is the
please.
difference between the SOAR and Falcon? SOAR
Okay.
and Falcon, CrowdStrike and
So
Falcon.
yeah.
But
So
but I have one doubt. CrowdStrike Falcon is install the sensor, collect the data, and like
mhm,
that. SOAR
mhm.
also same like only, but
No, no, no,
it will be different.
no. So let's take. I'll just show you here. So let's
Mm,
take an example.
mm.
Just a second. Why this is misbehaving? Let's take an example. Just a second. So let's take an example. This is your endpoint, okay, where your sensor would be placed. This is your endpoint. Let's give it a red color. How it works. Okay, this is your endpoint. Let's call it E, where you are putting your sensor. Sensor you have put here, and then this sensor is talking to your Falcon.
Mm.
So this is your CrowdStrike,
Yes,
and yeah, this is your Falcon. It is communicating to this. So it will send heartbeats and it will send all the logs to your Falcon. And there would be hundreds of these endpoints, all sending data back to your management console. One Falcon CrowdStrike we are considering, as you said, Falcon, and all these endpoints are sending data to this, and then this is integrated with SOAR.
Okay.
This is SOAR. So when SOAR want to take an action on any of the endpoints, here maybe SOAR want to block this machine, it remove it from internet. What SOAR will do? SOAR will make an API call to your Falcon, and then Falcon will make a call to this machine. So SOAR is primarily talking to this guy only.
Okay,
And
Falcon.
this guy is talking to these guys.
One doubt, Falcon also automatically isolate the system also now.
So in Falcon, if you can make a rules like these kind of static and technique observed, then isolate it. Yeah, this capability Falcon also has, I believe.
But the SOAR is there now. SOAR also same like that only. Isolate that endpoint is there now. Just
Yeah, so both the tools can have these capabilities, right? But in Falcon, it would be limited. So Falcon can only understand things in certain similar manner, but SOAR is more advanced. Also, in Falcon, you are taking decision based on only Falcon things only, what Falcon is saying. But in SOAR, you will get more enrichment, and you can get better decision making from SOAR, because SOAR is not only talking to Falcon, but it is talking to 10 other devices, 10 other technologies, and they are also contributing and sending data to SOAR. So SOAR can have more data and everything and more understanding of a thing, and based on that it can decide what needs to be done. So basically I just wanted to tell you here that all your endpoints would be sitting here. They would be communicating to your management console, which happens to be CrowdStrike Falcon. These all would be installed sensors. This sensor will talk to your Falcon, and then Falcon management console would be talking to SOAR. These both guys would be talking to each other, and these would be talking among themselves. SOAR is not going to talk to your endpoint directly. It will go to your management console. Your management console will go to here. This is how they are different.
Sandeep, one question.
Mhm.
Like if a malicious file is detected on on endpoint,
Mhm.
and EDR contains that endpoint,
Mhm.
does SOAR interfere in that and check if EDR has done right thing or not?
Oh, sorry.
Ravi Teja. Who is this Ravi Teja?
Hi, Samir.
You are the host now, so are you the trainer or?
I'm not the host. Actually, I started the call. Maybe that's why.
Okay. Yes, fine, it's
I
fine.
think the trainer got dropped. That's why
Yeah,
automatically the host would have
I
got
think his
transferred.
Yeah,
laptop
nothing is battery drain out.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, guys. So sorry, my laptop died. So sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed your question.
So what I was asking is,
Mhm.
if a malicious file or process is detected on EDR, I mean on endpoint,
Mhm.
and EDR detects it and contains the endpoint, does SOAR interfere in that and check if EDR has done the right thing or not?
Yeah, definitely. So what will happen? Your ADR has contained a machine, and
Okay.
it has shared that detection to SOAR to investigate it further. So
Mm-hmm.
based on SOAR investigation, if SOAR thinks that you shouldn't have contained it, SOAR will remove the containment.
Mm-hmm. And does SOAR confirm with analyst as well for decision?
Yeah. So as I was explaining this firewall scenario,
Yeah.
where we can directly take an action or wait for analysts to decide. So
Okay.
similarly, we can build the similar path for the
Okay.
malicious kind of thing also.
Thank you very much.
Yes, no problem, man. So yeah, thank you guys. Do we have any more questions? Are we good? Guys, thumbs up. Are we able to follow what is happening?
We lost.
Sorry?
We lost your voice.
No,
Yeah. Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
Better.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
sorry.
far it's good.
Okay. So yeah, guys, actually my laptop died in between. I had to plug in back and join back. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And now we will have a break of maybe 3 minutes, and let's join back after that. I'll start timer here. Timer.
So what is the time of today's session? Till which time to which time we are we planning for this session?
I was
The
told
duration?
it should be for till 11:30 we are supposed to.
Okay, thank you. 3 hours, 8:30 to 11:30. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So just a second. I'll add 1 minute. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Hi guys, are we back? Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm resuming now to our deck.
And we till now we talked about playbook management and also vulnerability management. So in SOAR we have capability to maybe mitigate capabilities as well. So in SOAR, when we have different threat intel platforms or threat intel feeds enabled with us, we get CVs as well. We get the latest data about vulnerabilities, and we can make scans from our source. So I'll show you a simple example. In SOAR, in marketplace, we have something called as. Do you guys know what Nmap is? It should be there. Come on, don't make my demo bad. You guys know what Nmap is?
Yeah, network scanning tool.
Yeah, so Nmap is something which we can use to scan the our all the endpoints and all, and we can get to know about like small vulnerabilities if we have anything or something. Okay, guys, I need to connect to VPN just a second. What this? Just a second, guys. So what Nmap does is it scans your machine to check if you have any open ports or something. It is very basic thing about vulnerability management, but yeah, it does that, and we have that capability from SOAR. So this is for basic, and for the advanced tools also, we have those integrations and we can run commands and do that. So for here, let's give an example of Nmap. We can integrate Nmap here, and from SOAR, we can create a flow and we can scan our machines. And whenever we see any vulnerability, we can integrate a tool which can patch those things. So this also use cases SOAR can cater about vulnerability management.
Hi, Sulabh, your display is not showing.
Oh, is it? Yes. Oh, yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, now.
Yeah. So what happened just now? I went to marketplace where it kind of shows us a list of what all things we can integrate with SOAR in out of box. So one of them is Nmap, and from Nmap we can do the integrations as we have done with VirusTotal, and from SOAR itself we can do the IP scanning and everything, and it will give us results, and based on that we can patch the devices. And this is very basic example. We can do really awesome advanced stuff from here. So if we have any different tools which checks for vulnerability, we can integrate those here, and we can maybe send patches from here. So this is how vulnerability can also be managed from SOAR. And then case management based incident response. So in this, we kind of got to see one example where we had a case where malicious IP communication was observed, and we had all the workflow and how. So in this, in management, we also have capability to integrate different ITSM solutions. So for an example, I am coming again back to this, and I am typing for Jira. So if you see, we can integrate Jira and we can create tickets there. So once our investigation is done, and if we want to raise some tickets and keep data store somewhere for audit or somewhere, we can do it from here. We get this integration and we get this command to create ticket. And similarly, we have a bunch of tools. So for some reason, I'm not able to. Do you know any ticketing tool? Just take any name.
BMC remedy.
No.
BMC, good. BMC. And if you see, we have BMC ITSM here as well. And from here, we can maybe raise the tickets there. This one, remedy you were talking about. So all those things we can integrate, and we can raise tickets there and do this stuff. So this is that, and threat intelligence, we talked about this in previous slide. So yeah, we are going to skip. So yeah, guys, these are some of the strength of SOAR, and also there are some use cases which do not fall under umbrella of SOC, but we can. So for one of the clients, I developed a use case for new user onboarding. So what would happen in that? I had integrated a mailbox, and whenever a HR would be sending a new mail to that mailbox with the new user, it would give it some username and the user's data, like its phone number and its email ID generated. And based on that, SOAR would go to Active Directory, create a user for it, create new user, put it into Active Directory, put it into the respective groups where that person would have access to the bunch of tools which was decided by Active Directory or any other IAM tool like user management tool. So all those use cases also we can do, which can help the other teams which do not falls into SOC like this. So these all use cases also we can implement as we have capability to integrate with all the devices which runs on API. So if you know Python and if you can make API calls using Python, then anything which talks on APIs does not need to be from the cybersecurity or SOC. You can develop a workflow for it and do the automation part using SOAR. It makes your life easier or the people around you. Any more questions?
Yeah, one question. So when you say vulnerability management, can we also integrate Tenable and SS tools?
Yeah, I think we should. Can you name any tool?
Tenable.
Spelling would be?
TENNABLE.
Rapid7, can you search?
Yeah, Rapid7 definitely is there.
Both are like vulnerability scanners.
Yeah, Rapid7 we have. I've worked on Rapid7 use cases. Yeah, Rapid7 is definitely there.
One question. Sorry, I joined a bit late. I might have missed something. In vulnerability management, how does SOAR helps? Does it implements the patches, forces the patches in case any vulnerability is remediated, or does it help with the use case? How does it help? Just
So
in
yeah.
case if I have missed anything. Sorry.
Yeah. So there would be two use cases. First, it would be helping you identify if any vulnerabilities are there. So with the help of maybe Rapid7, it will have all the endpoints data, and this will check for the vulnerabilities and it will send back data to SOAR. And SOAR will have inventory stored somewhere in its host with the patches, and SOAR will make an API call and make Rapid7 patch those things. So yeah, this is how it will work.
Okay, so it will force the patches to be in case it is available, right?
Yes, correct.
And so does it prioritize as we do the vulnerabilities?
Based upon threat or risk?
Yeah, so if your Rapid7 is sending that kind of data to it, that this thing is more critical and prioritize this, then definitely SOAR. So SOAR basically cannot take a decision on itself. It works on the data sent by the other endpoints. So if Rapid7 is sending you that this is more critical, then basically we can create that workflow.
And so it will be patched by some other tools or by other teams, infrastructure team kind.
So there could be two use cases. So one thing you can do from Rapid7, you get that data and you raise a support case in your tools like ITSM tools, or if Rapid7 has that capability, so it can directly done by SOAR. So just a second, I'll just try to give more brief on
So
this.
SOAR is all about the playbooks based, which will act based upon the inputs and the criteria which you have set.
Correct. SOAR is used for automation. It can be run as to convert manual efforts into automation.
And if I'm not wrong, yeah, you can. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're not.
So if I'm not wrong, you said that SOAR can also create the account and assigns the rules, right?
Sorry. You have to reframe your question a bit.
So you said that the thing which we do as an identity and access management, creation of accounts and assigning rules, SOAR also does these type of things.
Yes, definitely. SOAR can do that. If you create an admin account in Active Directory and give proper access to SOAR, SOAR will be capable to create new users and put them into right groups based on the mail received from HR. It will extract that mail, different fields, and from that it will work and create Active Directory user and put it into groups.
So we can also integrate Active Directory for creation, suspending the accounts, disabling the
Yes,
account.
definitely. Yeah, that is also use case for offboarding also. If someone is going out from your organization, HR would have to go to each and every tool and remove its access.
Yeah.
Basically, they will just send a mail to SOAR and SOAR will do that job for you.
Great. Thank you.
One more question, like EDR integration is robust, right? And I believe SOAR will also be able to integrate with Sandbox, right? Just to
Yes.
explode the packages and malwares. Now,
Correct.
just as a further enhanced extension of Sandbox,
Mhm.
does SOAR supports that in case it has detected a breach, does SOAR supports case management tools or forensic tools where SOAR itself is a case management tool, right? It will have
Mhm.
all the artifacts, but does
Mhm.
it supports any forensic tool as well with API integration that it can talk to forensic tool or stuff? Does it? Is it?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. If any tool is having API capabilities, SOAR will be able to talk to it.
So did you ever get a chance to do any integration with any forensic tool, or have you ever seen a use case in work where a forensic tool and SOAR has been working together? In case you have observed anything, even though you have not worked, and how did it work?
No,
What was?
actually, I have not per se integrated with a forensic tool, but there was one of my customer who had developed their own tool where they would put all their investigation data, and from there, so SOAR has to like go back and forth. So some people had that forensic tool access. They would be updating some data, and in SOAR would go there, make a query, and if there are any updates, it would update it into SOAR. Plus, if the SOAR has an investigation done, it would send back that data into that tool and save it into some fields. So yeah,
So that's a
there.
case management, right? That's a case
Yes.
management. You are
Yes.
saving artifacts for legal purpose. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, guys, on the Rapid7 part, how the patching would work, use case I need to check on this. I have not developed this patching wala use case for it. We were just taking the response from Rapid7 and generating an ITSM ticket for it for the patching team. Okay, any more questions, guys? I think no questions. We are good. So yeah, in this session we are discussing that what can be integrated with SOAR. So threat intelligence services, we have talked a lot about this. So CrowdStrike and VirusTotal and IBM X-Force and Rapid7 and all those things we can put here, Cybele and all those things. Then the next things would be firewalls. So we have got to see one firewall use case. Then Active Directory. Active Directory also we have talked about. Then ADRs, we have talked about this a lot. DLP we have not talked about much. So we can integrate DLP tools as well with SOAR. And based on if we see any spikes on DLP, we can create offenses and investigate on it. So for an example, we have new tools which runs on behavior based UABA. Do we have any idea about that? What UABA is?
User behavior analysis.
Yeah. So for all the people who do not know about UABA, so UABA is something, it detects an alert based on the activity done by user or a machine. So for an example, it takes into consideration your past data. Like let's take my example. If for a month I am using my computer and I am like working with the data of maybe 100 MB per day, but if one day I am started sending data more than 100 MB or maybe into GBs or TBs, then it will sense my behavior that this guy was sending 100 MB data per day, but now we have observed this spike. Then based on behavior, it will trigger an alert that something looks to be fishy and maybe investigate that. And so it will talk to DLP to maybe cut that user's resource, that there might be a data leak kind of situation, and stop that communication. And also it will generate an alert in SOAR, and SOAR will do the further investigation. Maybe it will check with user like what kind of activity it was doing, was it a genuine. It will check with proxy and DLP, like what kind of data has been shared outside, and was it any critical data, and all those kind of things. That all use cases happens in this section. And then there are ITSM tools, case management tools, where if we do not want SOAR to be the sole things where all the data is there, then we, after the investigation is complete, we can share those details to ITSM tools. Or for some customers where we do not have direct integrations with their security solutions, and they want to do the remediation part on their own. So for those people, we can do the investigation on SOAR, and whatever the remediations are, like block these IPs or isolate this machine, or maybe block these URLs on your proxy. All those things we can do by raising a ticket in their ITSM tools. And also there are some use cases where we have to create a firewall rule. So for a few of our customers, they wanted us to develop a use case where we can create a firewall rule. So for an example, they will give access to users of their ITSM tool, where they can, for an example, this is user's machine, and this is the machine they want to connect to, and in between we have one firewall. So, and this firewall is integrated with, let's put star for SOAR. So what will happen? This machine needs to talk to this machine. So we have to establish a connection, and this firewall is blocking that. So in firewall, we have to create a rule. So what user will do? User will raise a ticket in its ITSM tool. That user will create a ticket in its, let me change color. User will go ahead and it will create a ticket in their ITSM tool, that I have to establish connectivity from this source to this destination on some port. And then he will create a ticket on this ITSM tool. And then that ITSM tool would be integrated with SOAR. And SOAR would be integrated with this firewall. So what will happen? Whenever a ticket is created, SOAR will process that, and SOAR will run API calls to that firewall and create a policy that will allow this machine to pass to this machine with some port. So these all things also we can do with ITSM. So this is a two-way channel. In one use case, we were creating a ticket in ITSM ticket for blocking and everything. And in another case, ITSM ticket is sending us a request to make changes in firewalls for maybe network allow or anything. So this is how the use cases will be in case of ITSM. People would raise ticket in ITSM, and we would do an automated activity and give them access. This works for WebEx as well. So for some banks where they do not give users access to WebEx all the time, and they would want users to only communicate with the approvals. So what will happen? The users will create ticket in their ITSM tool. Then that ITSM tool ticket would be picked by SOAR. SOAR will process it, and then SOAR will make an exception for that user's machine on its proxy device, and then that WebEx website will open for 1 hour maybe. And after that meeting is closed, SOAR will automatically remove that policy. So this is one of the use case.
So at the end, so in Crux, all basic tasks like putting a user in an Active Directory group, allowing blocking traffic, allowing traffic on WAF, DDoS, all basic things. If API supports and you have Python capability, you can get all these things done, and save your time and response time, and as well as staffing cost. Right?
Correct.
This is what all things.
Definitely. So in this case, you can reduce one of your proxy guy, because all these requests which are coming regularly are taken care by SOAR for you.
So all basic L1 jobs are gone. Okay, thank you.
No, we cannot. I
Do
would
everything.
not.
I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Understand.
So SOAR cannot do everything for a first thing, and it's not taking L1 jobs. Maybe it is assisting L1s to move to L2 tasks, because all the task or heavy lifting which takes your time or take your processing power, mundane task, it will do for you, and it will allow you to work on the actual things which matter, like actual investigation. But today the L1s are just drafting emails and extracting data from here and there
Yeah,
and just
it's
monitoring
adding
screens.
pressure on your value add. How
Yes.
what you do as an value add.
Yeah, so by if those manual tasks SOAR will do,
Hmm.
which does not need your brain, only the
It's
processing
a
power.
repetitive task, right? Those are
Yes,
repetitive tasks.
correct. Yes, repetitive tasks SOAR will do for you, and it will enable you to do the actual task. And yeah, in some cases, yeah, SOAR will take your job if you are just
Not
doing that
updating
thing.
yourself. Not updating yourself.
Correct.
So
So even, yeah.
One question. So when you said that if an employee request ITSM for opening or closing a port or whitelisting an website, so does it just opens the port, or it checks like if this port is could get an attack?
No. So basically, it will have some allow list that it is
Okay.
allowed to do. And
Okay.
if it not allowed, then it would redirect that request to someone. Like it will drop a mail to some firewall guy or
Analyst.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
analyst or firewall guy, and they will give some decision to SOAR, and based on that, SOAR will take a decision.
So for an example, if the user is requesting for whitelisting an website which is like not malicious, but it is not related to the business, does it just whitelist the website or confirm with the analyst if it should be white?
No. It will definitely. So SOAR will have a list that
Okay.
things it will allow to do, and it will have only repetitive list. So as an example, what WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, these
Okay.
kind of websites, it will have in allow list that it is 100% can do it automatically. And
Okay.
it is for some basic period, so 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. So in those things, SOAR will not use any capability. SOAR will directly do it because
Okay.
that thing is allowed. But
Okay.
if you have to access money control to check some business articles or something, then you might need a prior permission from someone. Someone
For,
needs to approve it to happen.
for an example, if we are taking an example of Udemy is not it is a genuine website, but it is not related to the business. The employee is requesting the access so that he can learn few things from by accessing that website. So in that case, the SOAR just whitelist the website, or it confirms with analyst.
Yeah, so again, coming back to the point, SOAR works on the flow we create, right?
Okay.
It just works on the playbook. So it depends on your organization if it wants it, how it wants it to happen. If your organization thinks that a SOAR should go to IBM X-Force, take the reputation, and if the URL is clean, then go ahead, give access to user, then that can happen automatically. But if your organization thinks, okay, no, only these 5 URLs, I will give direct access. If any other URL, even if it is Udemy, which is clean URL, I will not give access. I will need its manager's approval. So
Okay.
then it will drop mail to your manager. If he approves, then it will allow.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
it's basically how you decide as an
How
organization
we
that things.
configure or make the playbooks.
Correct. So yeah, SOAR is all about configuring things, building
Okay.
automations, building playbooks. So
Yeah.
how you decide the process, SOAR has the capability to do all the things.
So if we are learning Python and API, then we can be good at configuration, right? Or
Yeah,
playing.
definitely. And we are going to develop some crazy content on it. And yeah, I will definitely. And we have a good friend here.
Okay. ChatGPT.
So there are no things which this guy can't do. So
Yeah.
even if you do not know Python, you know basic of Python, you know how to ask this guy questions, he will give you a ready code. So you just need to know how Python works, basic Python,
And advanced stuff you can just ask this guy to do for you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes. So yeah, we have done this. Then yeah, we will just now talk about problems in today's SOC and how someone was asking me about KPIs and all those things. So I think this should cover that part. So yeah, problem in today's SOC, too much involvement of L1 analyst. So yeah, L1 has to do a lot of things like uh, too many screens he has to monitor and repetitive alerts he has to see, because nowadays we add so many security solutions and all the detections are coming there, and they are loaded with alerts, and because of that, doing the repetitive tasks, they kind of get unfatigued, and there can be chance of a human error because they see five similar kind of alert, and on the sixth one they do not dig deep into it, and they kind of consider it that if the earlier five similar were false positive, then this must be also false positive, because too much is count, they just skip on some steps, and an attack can happen. So all those things are the problem. Then the slow response time. If analyst is working in your SOC, all those things he has to do it manually. He has to go to a website and check its reputation. He has to log in into a particular security solution and check its logs. He has to go to ITSM tool and raise a ticket. He has to go to a mailbox and draft a mail and shoot a mail to user. All those things are manual. But if you have SOAR, then a response time would be really quick, because all these things would be already done for that user and analyst, and analyst just have to click one button and it will happen instantaneously. So slow response time. And then too many screens to monitor. So if you have SOAR integrated, all those things you integrate into SOAR, and SOAR will pick up all the offenses from there, and you have to monitor only one screen. But if you do not have SOAR, then you have to monitor your EDR screen, you have to monitor your DLP screen, you have to monitor your mailbox. If someone has reported any phishing mail, you have to monitor your SIM and lots of other tools. So those all things can be catered by here if you use Source, and definitely lack of automation. Those are the main problems in today's SOC. And yeah, we can solve it with SOC. So we can directly create automations on SOAR, that if this thing is happening, then directly do that. If this thing is happening, directly do the other thing. So this reduces your dependency on L1. The basic tasks, repetitive tasks, SOAR will directly do for you, and it will free up your L1s to do the actual task. Then again, better response time. A machine can do things instantaneously in seconds, which we have to do manually. It takes a lot of time, and machine does it instantaneously. So better response time. So we give less time for an attacker to spread his attack, and time is everything in case of cybersecurity. So the more time you save, maybe the more money you save for your organization, because the attack is less spread. Then standardized processes. If you create one use case and create a playbook, then you know it's a machine and it will follow 100% of the times those steps. But similarly, if you give an analyst those steps, there are chances that analyst might not follow all the steps and directly come to a conclusion based on his preconceived notions. He might not check the logs, or he or she might not go to threat intel platform. He can decide on itself. But if it's machine, it's 100% times guaranteed that it is going to follow the process. So this is the thing. Then increase the operational efficiency. Definitely, if you include a bot in your machine, then you can. So if 10 people can cater to 100 offenses a day, if you put bot there, they can maybe do 10,000, because bot is taking care of like 90% of things. And it is just asking you to make a decision, or even not that. If you have configured it to do everything automatically, then it does not require a human intervention. And again, scalability. So for an example, let's take an example of firewalls, that you have to block an IP on firewall. So if you do not have a management console, then you have to log into a firewall, one firewall, then another firewall, then another firewall, then another firewall. But with SOAR, you can integrate all those firewalls into your system, and with one command, the IP would be blocked on all the systems. So you can scale your system to the extent you want to.
So yeah, someone was asking about the KPIs. These all things you can present it. We good about how SOAR can change the life of a SOC. Guys,
Yeah.
give some thumbs up, please.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so one question, like in this we have a standard process, right? For investigating or responding. And if the attackers get to know about this process, a standard process, and it develops a script or a malware in such a way that it bypasses this process, then there is a like a chances of attack, right? It's a successful attack.
Yeah, definitely. So this holds true for all your security solutions.
So
If
we need
yeah,
to keep updating the processes as per the attacks.
definitely you need to add steps here and there in your playbooks. It's not like it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity is like always evolving job.
Evolving. Yeah.
They will
And
find new
mostly,
ways.
mostly SOAR is your like automation and response. It's not a detection mechanism. So
Yeah,
your
but we are taking some response things also, na
yeah,
consideration. So yeah,
yeah, your main SIM has to be very strong in detecting the thing.
correct. Your EDR and your SIM, there you need to focus on the rule creation more. Yeah, exactly.
So just wanted to know, like when we sit for this implementation of the SOAR from the engineering perspective, and like consider example any SIM you take as of now. Let's take QRadar. Okay, now consider I am from the engineering team. I have done the implementation, the integration of the log sources, and there is one guy, consider Sayed, who is from the content. Okay, and there is like and you who is from the SOAR. Okay, so now when the requirement comes, like company has taken the SOAR and we need to implement, how the approach and how the process get established.
Okay. So first thing would be definitely SIM would be coming into picture. So SOAR guys will not even talk to customers unless the SIM is implemented. So first, a SIM team would be integrating all the log sources that customer has. They would be building rules based on that. And once the rules is created, alerts are popping, then only SOAR guy will come into picture that we have created these use cases and you have to create a response for these use cases. Because SOAR solely works on the detection part, right? Oh, sorry. SOAR only takes consider into detections or alerts. So that's when SOAR will come into picture. SOAR will engage later. SOAR engineer will engage later. This is what you were asking for, right?
I'm asking from the engineering perspective, like when we want to implement the SOAR, okay, what all the prerequisite or the information we need to gather to put like whatever like we have discussed so far. I got that overview. Okay, but
Okay.
from the HLD or LLD type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
how, because we cannot directly go and integrate the SOAR. We have to give the picture
Correct.
how this will be looking, and from that perspective, from the engineering
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. So in that case, what will happen? You will first do the architecture review of customer. You will get to know what all security solutions they have and what all. Then you will have basically sessions with them or discussion sessions where you will get to know what all devices they have, what is their current procedure, and what they want to achieve using SOAR. And then based on that, you will create use cases for them. So for an example, they have 2, 3 firewalls and they want blocking to be done on that. So you will develop a use case like whenever offense is triggered, I will integrate those devices and then I will block those things if that team permits. Then to do the requirement gathering, you will ask them for the information that all is required to integrate those firewalls with you. So that includes the firewalls, connectivity, then a username and password. Also, how their current procedure is. So, for an example, they have they have Cisco firewall, and they have created a bucket where they are putting all that IPs. So you will need to know what that bucket is where you need to send those IPs. So these kind of data collection you will do from their side, and based on that, you will propose them these use cases. That's how it happens.
Thank you. Got it.
Yeah. Also, if you are interested, you just WhatsApp me. I will share a template with you, which we use for data gathering.
Thank you.
Any more question, guys?
And thank you for your patience for answering so many questions. Thank you
Oh,
for
Yeah,
no issues, man.
thank you very much.
That's part of my job. Thank you, guys. And definitely these all questions are relevant. It's not like anyone is asking vague questions. All these questions are very logical, and it shows that you guys are quite experienced in this matter. Yeah, so that's great to know. I have got really good batch this time.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I have one question. Like, for our practical purpose, should we install anything? Any prerequisite is there so that we can install previously only?
No, so for the Python path, we are going to do Python on web itself. We do not need to install anything. If you want to do advanced thing, you can, like, maybe for Python, I will suggest you use PyCharm.
Okay.
Where are you? This PyCharm, I like this one, PyCharm. You can get on internet how to install it and how to use it. But we are going to do a basic Python coding, which can be done on web itself.
No, I
We
was
do not.
asking like the SOAR for the SOAR part, like
Yeah.
any practicals we'll do, right? So
Mhm.
should we install anything for that?
Yeah, so for that, I need to discuss with Sulabh that how he is going to give you access of lab, and Sulabh will be talking you about this thing majorly. That
Okay, so
how
it
he
will
is
be like a
providing lab.
remote connection, right? No need to
Yeah,
install anything.
possibly,
No,
possibly.
there is a standard process Sulabh gives, like you have to install the VPN where he creates the
Okay.
account on the lab and we can access it.
Yeah,
to take
so
it
even
live.
I am doing that. I
Yeah,
have
so
created a VPN.
Yeah, the same way.
it's the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He will guide. It's too early. He will guide us. No issue.
For integration and all, can we have any sim tools?
Yeah, we do have one SIM tool. Yeah, we have Splunk. We will show you Splunk.
Yeah, Splunk, right.
Okay, guys, more questions? Anything?
Yeah, so okay, can you please tell me, if you don't mind, like what tools can we integrate? Like, can we integrate dark trace as well, network detection and response?
Yeah, definitely. You can integrate everything if it has API capabilities.
API
You
capability.
can integrate. Yeah, anything. You can create your own tool, and if you allow API to it, it can be integrated with SOAR. SOAR is not.
If this API link is not available as an out-of-box connector, if you call it as connector, so usually in sim cases you have that custom parser, or in QRadar language you have UDSM, right?
Yes.
You write a custom parser. In SOAR, in the field of SOAR, what do you call it if you have to write a custom parser, and what language like regex or just a moment?
Yeah, so I develop it on Python, and we call it bring your own integration button. So if you see, these all are integrations. So when we click on it, it opens interface for us where we have to type bunch of code.
Okay.
And here we can give it a name, which is the integration name, and what it does. Does it pull offenses, fetch incidents? Does it fetch indicators, like does it fetch IOC, and all those things? And then we can give it parameters like what all things are required for the integration. So maybe.
So it's all about Python. I don't need regex and all those other things like what earlier sim uses.
No. You do not need. So we use a basic of regex to create mail body. So for an example, I got a raw log from sim tool, but I have to make it meaningful for user while writing mail. So there I will use regex. So from some small body, I will extract source IP, I will extract username, So we use regex for very limited quantity.
So we can integrate this with QRadar, with Splunk, with Google Chronicle, right? This
Definitely,
Cortex.
definitely. Yes, 100%.
Mm.
Okay, I observe guys only. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we are going to see how we install and installation of Cortex.
Yeah, definitely we can include that. It's very easy thing, very basic stuff we have to do on Linux. Yeah, we will include that.
So I don't have any knowledge of Python. Like if I am giving every day 2 hours for learning the Python which is needed for SOAR, is it enough?
It's more than enough actually.
And
You
also,
can, yeah, you do not need to be master of Python because you are not developing an application. You just need to understand how Python works. That is enough for you to be a master in XOAR.
Okay, so if you don't mind, can you share the link from where I can learn the Python which is needed for SOAR?
Yeah,
If
so what we will do, I will teach you guys bunch of Python, which should be enough for XOR. And once that is concluded, I will give you a link, which is my favorite from where I have learned Python. It is a Udemy course. It cost only 300 rupees, but that course takes you to the another level. Like you can become Python developer from that course.
is it Code with Harry which you have sent, or is
No,
it a
it's not
channel?
that. It's free. It's paid one, but it's really good.
So Code with Harry is a YouTube channel, I think, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to grow with the free path, you can do that. You can go with Code with Harry. But I would recommend some another course with you guys, which I love it. And it because it has labs.
Okay.
It asks you to code yourself. So that person will teach you a small module, and then that person will ask you to code around that thing to check your concepts and all. So if you are really want to dig into Python, you can follow that course, or else whatever we are doing in this class, that's more than enough. That will enable you to do 99% of tasks.
Okay.
Main is the logic. ChatGPT can develop code for you. You just need to know how things work. Okay. Okay, so the last thing, benefits of SOAR, automated countermeasure better. Okay, we are done. Use cases we will discuss later. We have discussed few now, and yeah, that's it from now. And now, if we have any questions, please shoot.
Yeah, can you share this PDF file in the group for?
Yeah, definitely. I would
Right.
be sharing this like with you guys.
So, and one more thing, as I said that I took the SIM training from Sulabh for ArcSight and Splunk. So, if I have to say that this is an extension, like SOAR is an extension to ArcSight and Splunk. Like the basic which Sulabh has taught in those trainings. We just need to add those things. We just need to integrate those things into SOAR. That's it, right?
Yeah. So it is an added advantage if you know multiple technologies, because being a SOAR engineer, you have to develop content for multiple security solutions. So as a SOAR engineer, I need to know how EDR works. I need to know how SIM works. I need to know how firewalls actually work. So I know those things. That is when I can come up with use cases. So if you are a SOAR guy, you need to know basics about all the technologies.
Like if we are integrating Splunk in this SOAR, we need to know how SPL works, Splunk processing language.
Not necessarily, not into that depth. Yeah, it is not very necessary. If you know, well and good, or you can just call your admin who is developing that part, and you can just directly ask him, "Okay, I need to run this SQL query on your Splunk. Just give that SQL query to me," and you can apply it into code.
Okay.
Not to that depth. You just need to know how things work. You need to know mechanism, not the actual thing.
And like if we are using Azure Sentinel as SIM, we need to know KQL, Kusto query language for that.
They are basically more or less same. QRadar call it AQL, and VXM call it XQL. So they are
Okay.
basically like similar kind of languages. If you know one, you can basically write the other. And in some cases, you do not need to write also. You can just configure things and it will create the query for you. So
Okay, like the things which you are teaching now in this course, if you are integrating Sentinel with this, we don't need to know anything. Like we don't need to know much about the KQL. If you are knowing this course, that is enough for us.
correct. If you are integrating a third-party tool with your SOAR, then you do not need to be expert of that third-party tool because there would be a team sitting and that would be a collaborative project.
Okay.
Wherever you stuck, they would be educating you about those things. It's their responsibility. When you are integrating, this is a two teams job. You handle your side of thing. Whatever you don't understand from that team, you ask them, they will educate you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
One second. As a SOAR engineer, we will integrate and we will run a playbooks. This much only, right? Additional.
Okay, so you are asking what SOAR engineer does?
Yes.
So SOAR engineer does the whole and soul of a SOAR engineer job is to make his SOC more and more automated. So that's what you need to do. Whatever security solutions or whatever the data points you have, you integrate them, whatever your SOC guy will do, and you try to do his efforts as less as possible. You try to automate all the maximum steps you can for that particular user. That would be your job particularly. And in depth, you would be definitely connecting with customers and you would be knowing their requirements, that what all things they would like to achieve from this tool. So for an example, they would like to automate all their threat intel operations. They do not want any human intervention. So that would be your job to come up with the use cases and automated workflow to cater to that request. So that's your job. You take customer requirement, you create a flow about that, and you develop that flow in your tool. And that should support the customer requirements to reduce human efforts and save time. That's your two goals.
So the phishing solution, also we can do automation.
Phishing solution, which one?
Or like a company has anti-phishing going on, right? Or the Office 365, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great, man. This I was not aware of.
Yeah. So
Because,
I will show you a phishing playbook.
Because
Just
I haven't worked, but I was part into the discussion where I see the SOAR engineer used to gather all this information. So that time I
yes.
was not aware about these things. Okay, same thing here together, right?
Just a second, I'll show you that.
So when we create this playbook in SOAR, is there is any mechanism before rollout? Can we test it and then we actually do the deployment into the production?
Yes, definitely. We have that. So in SOAR, tomorrow I will be showing you architecture. So in SOAR, there would be three main components. One would be dev environment, where we develop stuff, we check everything. Then there is UAT environment, where we interact with customers, we give them access, and we ask them to check the workflow if they are satisfied and run them themselves. And when they are satisfied, then we move it to production.
Hey, that's great, man. You killed it. This is what I was thinking. Great.
Yeah. So phishing thing, I will show you guys tomorrow. I'm not able to find
No,
it
no,
here.
no issue, no issue.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Sandeep. Like you have a great things on this SOAR part, especially on the XO. Thank you. Like
Yes.
it will be a very interesting training,
Mhm.
seems to be, and with the people with the experience with different things. So it will be a great learning for all of us.
Yeah. So mostly guys, even if you do not understand these things, and if you are just discussing like consuming these conversations which we are having together, there will be multiple points you will have while talking in your interviews. You might not have worked on those things, but now you would understanding what other people's do in their life around SOAR, and you can talk those things in your interviews. So there is high chance that there would be some questions which you might not know in your earlier life, but because of these conversations, you might know something about it, and you can answer those in some extent. It actually helps. Yeah, you were right. So yeah, guys, we have any more questions, or we good to go?
No questions, Sandeep.
No any question.
And guys, we have observed that only few of you people are discussing, like Mahesh and Rashid and Ravi Teja. You did not speak anything. So guys, I encourage you, you have paid money, you must clear your doubts or anything if you have any, because that is the way go, guys. Who will speak more?
Absolutely, Sandeep.
Yeah.
They are asking very basic questions, and now I have an understanding of the source. So I'm looking forward in the advance where I will be asking the question.
Yeah. So I encourage you guys, if you have any questions, just without hesitation, just like turn on your mic and speak up. And if you are not comfortable, just put it into chat. I'll take questions from chat itself. But just don't sit around. Be more interactive. It's for your own good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Have a great nice of your weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Please share the recording as well with us.
Sulabh, you need to ask for recording to Sulabh. I am
Okay.
using his account. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
nice weekend.
Same. Bye. Bye.